I myself want to know what's going on. I feel just as confused as the main characters themselves. Amazing. Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for this all things bookish video. First things first, I think we need an unhaul. I feel like my TBR cart, it just has like a weird accumulation of books at this point. There are books on here that I've had on here for over a year, and even with my TBR prompt picks, my TBR videos, I haven't reached for in the last year, and that just means I'm probably not ever gonna reach for it. So let's do some unhauling. I feel like this is very much needed, especially right now, like this year. There are so many new releases that I've already read and I'm still looking forward to that I can't wait to add to my collection. So we need to make some room for the ones that I haven't read, and then just in general, I want to like declutter this mostly because I honestly, it looks the same to me after months, and again, haven't reached for these in a while, probably won't reach for them in the future. We also have a very exciting new release coming out. Well, actually it already came out and I actually have it already, but I'm waiting for my other books that I ordered to come in to do a little book haul for you guys. So that will be after this part of the video, which is the unhauling. Haven't reached for it, but I do want to keep this, so we're keeping that. Haven't reached for them. And honestly, I think for these ones that I'm unhauling, I want to take them to little free libraries around me, so that's definitely going to be part of this video, and I'm going to donate all of these books because I just don't want them, but I'm sure someone else will. There's not as many as I thought there was gonna be, but these are the ones that I'm getting rid of. We have The School for Good Mothers, bought from Costco like a year or two ago, haven't picked it up, probably won't pick it up. Sorrow and Bliss, again, just not drawn to it anymore. We have Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I Have Some Questions for You, The Fury, and Sankofa. So these are the ones that I think we are going to be donating. I had originally pulled these three, but I think I'm gonna put them back just because I kind of was like reading their synopsis and whatnot, and they do still kind of interest me. Like I could see myself still reaching for these. So I'm gonna give these a second little chance and throw them back on the cart. But these are the ones that we will be unhauling and donating later on in this video. I was also heavily debating donating this entire trilogy, which is The Summer I Turned Pretty, because I read the first book, did not like the main characters, so I didn't continue it, but I'm gonna give it this summer and then we'll see what happens. I might change my mind, might end up watching the series, I don't know. So we're gonna keep these for now. Continuing our bookish theme, we are outside of my public library and I'm gonna go in there and check out what they have. I haven't been in honestly a little bit. Okay, that makes no sense. I haven't been in a couple of weeks, and I do have 2 library books at home, but there's been a lot of new releases and I just want to see what they have because usually they have some really good picks. So let's go check it out. So bad news, looks like my library is closed. I was actually walking and there's like a car behind me and they're like honking and screaming like, hey, and I turn around and they told me that the library is closed, and it is. I can tell from the outside. I don't know why. So we're just I guess this is my universal sign saying you need to read the books that you have at home and the 2 library books that you have at home. So we're gonna go home and read those since my library is closed until further notice, I guess. We are back home after my failed attempt at going to the library. We are now here to do a little bit of a book haul. I am still waiting on my book of the month package. I checked my mail yesterday and it wasn't in there. And at this point, I've had these 2 packages sitting in my room for like a little less than a week, and that's too much pressure. Like I need to open them now. So we're gonna open these packages now. I think there's 3 books total in these packages. First book, we have The Devil's Highway by Luis Alberto Urrea. Now this is kind of like a memoir. This is about a group of men who attempted to cross the Mexican border into the desert of southern Arizona through the deadliest region of the continent, the Devil's Highway. 3 years later, Luis Alberto wrote about what happened to them. The result was a national bestseller, a Pulitzer Prize finalist, a book of the year in multiple newspapers, and a work proclaimed as a modern American classic. Like, that just sounds amazing. I'm Mexican American. I feel like these issues really hit home. So I really wanted to read this, and I've read other books too about like immigrants coming to America and the struggles that they face, and it's just so sobering seeing the realities that these people face. So I cannot wait to read this. I'm gonna add it to my TBR cart and honestly probably prioritize it because I'm just really interested in reading about this. That's the first book. Next one is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. Now, funny story because I actually already read this book. It came out May 9th or May 6th, sometime last week. And I actually got an ARC for it, so I was able to read it, advanced reader copy. I finished it right before it came out, but I really, really liked it. This is probably top 2 Carly Fortune books for me. I really, really enjoyed it. If you guys haven't read it, I definitely recommend. I know Carly Fortune kind of puts out a book like this every single year, like themed around summer and going to the lake, and I really, really recommend this one if you haven't read any of her books. And if you have read her books, I recommend this anyway because I really liked it. It was really good. I really, really enjoyed the romance. I thought it was great. I cannot wait to add it to my collection. I have every single book that she has ever written because honestly, they're great palette cleansers. They're contemporary romance books, so they're kind of easy to digest. The scenery is immaculate and they're just the perfect vibe for the summertime or the warm weathers. Definitely recommend, but I did already read it. And then last package, let's get this one open. This one, I feel like you guys might know what it is based on the title of this video. And that is A Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. So we finally got it. This is one of the major reasons why I wanted to open these packages and stop waiting for the other books because I need to get started on this book. I want to read it. It's a little bit chunkier than I expected, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel like it kind of sucks that I've already seen a lot of commentary about this book and a lot of people saying this book is not good and it's not a romance, which that's fine. But just seeing that, I feel like has already kind of affected how I'm gonna go into this book. So I will say that's one of the big negatives of the bookish community. I do it too, myself included. It's nothing we can really avoid because it's people voicing their opinions about the books, but it does certainly kind of cloud your own judgment and give you a sort of misconception potentially going into the book. So I'm gonna try to stay as neutral as possible when reading this book. I do know it isn't really a romance, it's more contemporary fiction. So I'm really kind of grasping onto that and not expecting like a full-fledged romance. But I am really excited about this. Book Lovers by Emily Henry is one of my favorite books by her because it is about book writers and authors and the book industry in general. And this one is also about 2 writers fighting for like the manuscript for an older lady, something like that. So I'm really not gonna look much into it. I don't think I'm gonna read the synopsis either because I really just want to go into it as blindly as possible with all the other opinions that I've already kind of heard and gathered. That's my mini book haul for the video. I am still waiting on my book of the month book, so hopefully those come soon. I think we're gonna get started on this today, but first things first, I think I want to make a coffee. Oh, my legs hurt so bad. I did a leg workout yesterday and I'm in pain. But anyway, got some food, have the book, haven't started it, about to start it. Here's what I'm eating. This is literally like the breakfast that I try to have like every day. Obviously sometimes it's just not possible with like work and stuff, but we have some yogurt with like, honestly, I don't know what this is. It's kind of like cereal, but it's not cereal. It's mostly like just oats and buckwheat or something. I threw cinnamon in there, a toast with peanut butter, 2 apricots, and then my coffee. I genuinely think breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I just love having like so many different combinations and variations to my breakfast. You won't catch me just eating like a piece of toast. Like I need fruit, I need nuts, I need yogurt, chia seed pudding, like so many different things, plus my coffee, water. Like I just love to differentiate. So that's the goal. Let's try the coffee and see what it tastes like. Amazing. Salted caramel syrup, and it is so good. Time to start Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Now, I don't know, man. I've read every single Emily Henry book, so this is my 6th. I don't know what number book this is for her, but I'm really excited. I feel like it's more contemporary fiction side, and I kind of like that. I like that vibe. I have heard just some things. I guess there's like 2 POVs or flashbacks that aren't the most engaging thing ever, but I'm still excited. Like I'm trying to stay very neutral, if not a little bit excited, but not so much so that I'm like overhyping it. So there's an old, I'm just kidding. I just start reading out loud. Y'all. Sorry about that. Y'all, I am 70 pages in, chapter... Actually, I don't think there's actual like numbered chapters in here, but 70 pages in, and I just want to say that I'm eating this up. I actually really like the story that's being told so far. I find it fascinating and really interesting. Essentially, if you guys didn't know, we follow our main character Alice as she's trying to catch this big story. Basically, she's a journalist trying to tell the story of Margaret Eves, and she is fighting with another journalist. His name is Hayden. Margaret is going to give them each a month to kind of like shadow and trail her to see which one she's going to choose between Alice and Hayden to give her story to. So I think that's really fascinating, and so far everything I've learned about Alice I really like. To me, honestly, she's like the complete opposite of me, but I really like that about her. She's so full of life, honestly, and I don't know what that says about me, but just the way like her character is written, she's just so positive, and I like that. Like, I don't know, I feel like usually book characters, we aren't being told that much about how they really are and act, and I think a part of that is this book is so dialogue heavy, which I'm really liking. We have so much dialogue between our characters, so we really get to see kind of what they're thinking, and that goes to show more for their own character as well, because we're kind of relating what they're saying to their personality. So I really like it. I feel like I've flown through the first 75 pages easily, but now we are actually getting to the point where Margaret is going to start telling her story. And from what I've heard and seen and read, this is the part of the book that I guess gets a little bit boring, because a lot of people don't really care about Margaret's side of the story. But for right now, I am interested because she seems very mysterious, very elusive. And if she's going to be kind of our main character, or at least the character that our main character is trying to cover and talk about, then I want to know her story too. So for now, I am interested, and I really am liking the writing so far. Like, it's keeping me very entertained. So if Emily can keep this up, Emily first name basis, if Emily Henry can keep this up, then I see myself being really entertained and really liking this book. But we'll just see where it goes. I just wanted to check in real quick and let you guys know that so far, so good, no problem. Also, really liking the small ounces of tension that we're getting between Alice and Hayden. I just really like them. Alice is definitely more of like a sunshine type of girly, and then Hayden is kind of being showcased as more of like a grumpy sort of guy, but not like a mean guy, because sometimes grumpy men can be mean and I don't like that. But this grumpy sunshine is like the good type, where she's super full of life and he is kind of more in his own shell, but comes out of his shell to like protect her and defend her. I don't know, I just really like their little dynamic so far. I literally have you guys in between my couch cushion. My tripod is being held by my couch cushions, so if you fall, sorry. But let's dive back in. Ready, guys, it's the next day and I'm here to give you guys an update. I took the dust jacket off of the book, so it's just the hardcover copy. I am now about 40%-ish through the book. I'd have to check, but I'm like over 150 pages in, and honestly I feel the same way I did yesterday. I'm still really liking the book. We have started getting kind of some tidbits of Margaret's story. Yes, it takes place like back in time, but I still find it really interesting. Like, it's full of drama and secrets, and there's just like an underlying sort of mysterious tone interlaced throughout the entire book that is keeping me really engaged, because I myself want to know what's going on. I feel just as confused as the main characters themselves, so I know they're trying to figure out what's going on. So I very much am liking it. As for the romance, since I went into this book not really expecting a romance, I've been pleasantly surprised at the like tension, the yearning, and the little bit of chemistry building that we are seeing. So I am, again, very much satisfied with it. I feel like at some points in other Emily Henry books, like probably by this point, I feel like I'm not super interested, but this one has kept my attention, which is really interesting because I feel like everyone else loves and raves about all her other books, and this one not really. But I feel like the opposite right now. I am going to continue reading it. I do really like it, but I also wanted to update you guys and let you know that we are going to be doing some little library hunting and donating books. So let's start off with a couple days ago when I visited my first little library. I just went to the grocery store and I just pulled up outside of my local little free library, so I'm gonna go check it out and donate some books. Even if they don't have anything for me, I'm still gonna donate probably these two just because I have them and I want to get rid of them, but I still do want to check out other little free libraries sometime this week, but this is the closest one to me, so let's go check it out. Okay, I'm looking looking and it doesn't really look like anything I would want or take. So I think I'm gonna just leave these 2 books, although it is pretty stocked and I like to see that. And I feel like last time I came there were different books in here, so it's definitely, you know, being used, but nothing that I really want. So I don't want to take anything if I don't like truly want it. There is a puzzle in here, it's really cute. I have been in my puzzle era, but I don't need it. So I'm gonna leave it for someone else. I'm ready for day 2 of little library hunting and we're right in front of our first stop. I think I'm only gonna go to 2 today just because there's 2 that are really close to me right now and I don't want to drive too far, and we already went to one the other day which wasn't successful. Crossing my fingers one of these will be. I'm actually outside of this one right now and it's a really cute. The house itself that it's in front of too is really nice. Let's go see what we find in there. If anything, we're gonna drop off a book or 2. Okay guys, we're walking up to it right now. Let's see what we find. We see some really good potential contenders. Oh my goodness, it has the Berry Pickers. This is one of my favorite books that I read last year. Absolutely obsessed with it. Read this one and own this one, so I won't be taking either one of these because I have both of them, but I would if I didn't. Honestly, it has some really cool variety here. We have some like kids book, we have adult fiction. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna take anything just because I have like the 2 books that are interesting to me I already own. So we're just gonna leave this one. I have some questions for you, so let's organize this a little bit and shove it in there. 1000% recommend this book though. I really liked it. So good. That was semi-successful. There were some books in there that I think are popular and they're like recent, but already read them and actually own both of them, so I didn't take them, but I'm glad at least I was able to leave a book. So let's go to our next little free library. Okay, the one that I just pulled up outside of doesn't even look like a little free library. I actually drove past it because I thought I couldn't find it, and I think it is there, but it looks like a little black box. So let's go figure out what it looks like and throw a book in there. The struggle is so real. I do feel a little creepy just like walking up to people's like front yards basically and searching their little free libraries, but I promise this is what you're supposed to do. Okay, let's take a look. Whoa, this one is so cool. Not that many. We have Eclipse. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take anything, but I'll throw a book in there. Okay, you're literally inside of the little free library, but let me see. Oh, they have a thriller mystery called The House Next Door. That looks interesting, but honestly, my TBR list, too big right now. Wait a minute, I've been wanting to read this book. I think I'm gonna take this one. The Way I Used to Be. I actually have really been wanting to read this. Score. We're gonna take that one. We're gonna leave this one. Success. Wow, I'm so surprised I actually found something I wanted. I think this is like a YA book, but I'm telling you, I think I've gotten it from the library before and I just didn't have time, so I didn't read it. But this time, we're gonna take it and we're gonna read it. Okay, wait, we're actually going to one more because it's only 3 minutes away and I'm just happy that I found a book that I wanted, and I have one more book on me, so let's go find one last little free library. Okay, last stop, and this is the book I'm trying to drop off right now, pulling up to the little free library. Didn't find anything that I personally wanted, but I dropped off my last books. Now we're gonna head home with one book, so I wouldn't say it was the most successful little trip, but you never know what you're gonna find. Sometimes you're surprised, and I was surprised to find the book that I did find. We were able to unhaul some books, and honestly, that was the main goal. Let's go home. Continuing our bookish video, it's now the next day, and I'm gonna go grab the book that I actually got yesterday from the little free library, which you guys saw me do that. And honestly, I'm really excited. I've had this book on my TBR or on my radar at least for literally like 3 years, and I remember at one point I even got it from my library, picked it up, but it sat on my shelf and I just never read it because I didn't like prioritize it. But now I own it, so I get to clean it. First of all, of course, you always clean the books that you buy or get or anything, because I don't want book mold or anything gross. So we're gonna clean it real quick and then we're gonna add it to the cart, which It's already as full as it was at the beginning of this video, but that's okay because now all the books in there are low-key ones that I really want to read. But besides that, quick reading update. You guys know I am reading Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Sorry, I'm just looking and the lighting's not the best and it's not that much greater. But anyway, we are still reading this book. I'm now about 70% of the way through it. We're this much into it and this much left. And again, I'm still enjoying it. I feel like that's been my update the entire time. But the more that I was thinking about it, I was like, I am enjoying it in the moment, but I really don't feel like it's moved me or made me feel anything crazy. Like, I feel like it's just going to be a bit forgettable, but in the moment, I'm having a good time, if that makes any sense. As far as the romance, I do still like it. I mean, I feel very kind of like ambivalent towards it. Like, I don't hate it by all means. I don't love it. They're not my favorite couple, but I'm enjoying them. So I don't really know how to describe my feelings about that. I do feel like I like it more than other people have, or at least have talked about it. I mean, unless the book takes a drastic turn for the worst, I see myself rating this like 3.75, maybe 4 stars if it has a really good ending. I'm kind of shocked by all like the negative-ish reviews because I don't see why people would think that. I guess because it is pretty different from her other work. So if you're fully expecting like a beach read type of book, people we meet on vacation, this is a lot more different because it's not centered at all on the romance. It's very much a subplot, and even then it's not something that's like especially unique or anything. But I do like also how we're bringing in like family. I feel like that tends to happen a lot in Emily Henry books where like family has a very integral part in the plot because it makes our characters act a certain way in their relationships, and that obviously goes to show like how they were raised and maybe some of the not so great relationships that they had with their parents, and that like falls into what they're trying to navigate as potential like partners. So I think that's really interesting, but I think I'm gonna try to finish it up today. I mean, I do still have, I don't even know how many pages this has total, 418, and I'm 30 pages away from 300, so about 150 pages left. I feel like it's doable, but I don't want to rush it if I don't have to. So by tomorrow, I should be done with it. So I will give you guys my full thoughts. But for now, we are still going through this. I just got back from the dentist and I want to finish reading my book. I'm literally almost done. I have less than like maybe about 50 pages left, so I'm gonna quickly knock this out before I give you guys any more thoughts. That way I have like my full thoughts and rating. I can update you then. So let's finish Great Big Beautiful Life. Just finished Great Big Beautiful Life, and honestly, let's sit down. I'm gonna go with a 4-star rating for Great Big Beautiful Life, and honestly it's so interesting because this feels the most un-Emily Henry book I've ever read by Emily Henry. This does not feel like Emily Henry, but I really liked that. The romance itself, it was okay. It was not my favorite part of the book. It wasn't my least favorite part of the book. It was just kind of there. But I feel like sometimes I feel that way with her other books and that's kind of when it's a problem because the romance is the main focus, and even then I don't feel like super obsessed with it. But since this had more of a romance subplot and the main plot line is the story being told about Margaret and getting Margaret's story as well, I really enjoyed this book. There's that mysterious undertone throughout. We get a couple of plot twists towards the end. The last sentence in this book literally gave me chills. So I don't know, I really did enjoy it. I think I found a lot of similarities between Margaret and our main character Alice, which I really liked because it's almost nuanced. Emily Henry doesn't outlandishly or like overtly make the comparisons, but you as the reader, as you're reading, you kind of like a little light bulb goes off in your head, or at least it did for me. And I was like, oh, okay, it's clever. That's what I think overall about this book, is that it's a clever book. 4 stars, strong recommendation. If you don't like Emily Henry's books, or if you've read a book by her and weren't super obsessed with it, I would recommend this one just because it's kind of a different vibe. Like all the other books that she's ever written, I feel like have the same vibe, same sort of style. This one is definitely different, and I like that. I like that she took a risk. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Now, I'm really, really happy I read that, and I'm really glad that I feel that way about it too, because I was just kind of expecting another romance by Emily Henry. She's done that. We've read that. We love that. But I love that this is something different, and it's in its own just as powerful. Now, Alice and Hayden, not my favorite couple, already said that, but still, I'm gonna look back on them fondly, which is a win. A win is a win. Just putting the dust jacket back on, and actually I just thought of something. I feel like the first maybe 60% of Margaret's story isn't super impactful for the overall plot. I get why it's in there, but compared to like the last 30-40% of her story where it has you seated and it's super entertaining and you finally kind of get to see the payoff, it's a little hard to kind of rationalize that. But it's also like, would that have had the same effect if we didn't get the first 40 or 50% of her story? Who knows? So I will say that I do get why people say like, I don't give a crap about Margaret's story, but I wasn't bored at all, honestly, throughout this book, and sometimes with her other books I am. And it's a Reese's Book Club book, which I love Reese's Book Club. Now, in other bookish news, I wanted to update you guys about my reading journal. So this is the reading journal I've been using all year, and last night I actually spent maybe like an hour-ish updating my journal because I have some trouble staying on track, and honestly I do fall behind a little bit, and these are the pages that I was working on. I was still in April, but I was kind of doing this layout one, and this is the one I was working on as well last night. It's a DNF graveyard, and I had a DNF in April, so I just have to print it out and put it on here. And then we have a little bit about a 5-star read, which was The Women by Kristen Hanna, and I'm going to print out some pictures that remind me of like the bookish aesthetic of the book itself. And then I was working on my June spread because obviously we are heading into June. Wait a minute. Why did I just skip May? Oh, I'm so annoyed with myself. I literally went from April to June. That's so annoying. What am I going to do now? Literally, and I'm just now realizing this with you guys. So we went from April... We have a couple like spreads for April. Then I skipped a page, so I added this favorites, and I'm gonna print out some like book covers to add on like my favorites so far this year. And then I guess we go straight into June. And I even have my May TBR, but it says June. That's annoying. I'm annoyed at myself now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. In great news, this looks fantastic. I really like how this page turned out, but like, what the heck, bro? Like, why did I do that? I don't want to worry about this now until next week. I was maybe going to work on it some more, but I have to figure out a solution to that problem. So I guess we're just going to finish here. Let's leave off on a high note, being we finished this book and it was a great read. Very, very happy so far with honestly most of the new releases this year. I've liked them all. My least favorite probably being Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which is crazy because I feel like usually I enjoy her books more than Emily Henry's. And this year I like this book better than that book. So you never know, honestly. I think that's it for me, guys. I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!